Oh, well, it's 10:30, everybody. Good morning. As always, we'll give people a little bit of time just in case they're coming in. Hello, welcome. Well, hope everyone's doing well today. And of course, my name is Andy. I wear bow ties because bow ties are cool. This is our newest installment of Curiosity Corner Live. And Science Center, of course, is still closed, but we're going to bring you new science content every day at 10:30. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video and feel free to chat. I will be able to interact with people. Oh, good morning, Dylan. Good morning, Alyssa. The dream team is here. All right, well, today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. That's how the days of the week work. Yesterday, Brooks showed you how to make a kite out of everyday materials. This week, we're doing all sorts of different activities centered around Earth Day. Tomorrow is Earth Day, and so we're doing sort of an Earth Week. And tomorrow, we'll talk about some stuff related to Earth Day. I'll tease that later today. But today, I'm going to talk to you about citizen science. Citizen science. Has anyone heard the term citizen science before? Because I know for a while I didn't know that citizen science was a thing. So it's relatively recently that I learned about citizen science. A few years ago, I learned what citizen science was. So citizen science is... Oh, hello, welcome, Bethlehem Academy. Hello, Maggie Fox. Nope. Okay. Dylan says nope. So citizen science, there are professional scientists who are doing big projects. But one of the things that happens when you're a professional scientist is you get a lot of data, or you need to get a lot of data. And being only one person or a small team, you can't get all of that data either collected or analyzed just by yourself. So with citizen science, what citizen scientists do is they help professional scientists with these big projects. So for instance, if a scientist wants to study how animals interact with an environment, they might set up a camera that has a special sensor on it that whenever something walks by, it'll take a picture. But the problem is, a leaf blowing by the camera could trigger that sensor, and they get a lot of pictures of all sorts of different things. It could be a raccoon, which is what they want to take a picture of, or it could be a leaf. So what citizen scientists help with is scientists will put up all those images and they'll say, hey, we have these 100,000 images that we took over this 1 month. We need your help to see if there's raccoons going by or if there's just leaves, because people are really good at looking at things. They're really good at seeing little details that a computer might miss. So basically, citizen science is people like you and me helping professional scientists with their big projects. Oh, hello, Amelia. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Vagari. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Yeah, collaboration is key. Teamwork. So, as citizen scientists, you are scientists, and when you're a scientist, you think through things a certain way. You look at details. You make observations, collecting data, making hypotheses, which is the plural of hypothesis, which is an educated guess, following that scientific method. And technology makes citizen science really, really a lot easier. So what I'm going to do with you today is we're going to do a special activity. I took a few pictures in my backyard, and we're going to go through a citizen science activity. And with the power of technology, this will be possible. So I am going to share my screen. Bada bing, bada boom. There it is. And I'm going to pop it so it's just that screen. So here's a picture that I took in my backyard. And what do you see? Anything that pops out to you? Anything unusual or interesting that you would want to report to somebody? Like, say a scientist is like, hey, I made all these pictures of grassland and I want to know what grows here or what I can find here. So as citizen scientists, we can help this hypothetical scientist out. Yeah, there's flowers. So we would tell this scientist, hey, there's some blue flowers right here. Those are interesting. So then the scientist would be like, oh, yeah, cool. Thanks for that. And they'll identify those flowers. And now they know that flowers grow here. And if they took pictures of the same area every year, they would find out what kind of flowers those are and whether they grow there all the time. So that's one picture. Here's another picture. Does anything look interesting in this picture? Anything stand out to anybody about this image? And of course, sometimes this set of data, all of these images, there's a lot of different grass. So there's a little bit of clover in there, and there's just normal grass, and there's also a lot of dead leaves. So that's still important information for the scientists to know, because they know that different kinds of grass grow here. There's different clover. So at first glance, this might look like just a normal everyday image, but it's still important. Here's another one. Anything pops out to anybody? And I think I'll make this one. I don't know how many pictures I have. I should check on that. But yeah, there's dandelions. So now we know that dandelions grow in this specific area. There's also clover over here. There's weeds. So here's another one. Sort of similar to the first one that one we saw of all the clover. So we could say, oh, there's clover here. Here's another one with a dandelion. So now we know that there's dandelions that grow in this area. And here's a different picture. As citizen scientists, we can help this scientist see if there's anything living in this area, for instance. So here's a big tree, but does anything live in that tree? Is anything sitting on the tree, hanging out, doing its thing, living in the environment? No blossoms yet, so we know that this picture was probably taken in early spring, maybe late winter. There's some sticks, there's pine tree, and it looks like there's a bird sitting in this tree. Yeah, so there might be a bird that lives here. We can take a closer look. Zoom in on that. Be like, hey scientists, it looks like there might be a bird living in that tree, but it looks like it might not be a bird at all. So there's this white shape here. It's starting to look like it's not really a bird at all. Might be a dove. Doves are white. But we start to make out sort of the shape of this creature that's living in this tree. Yeah. Yeah, I pulled a sneaky on you. It's a little toy pony. This is an inside joke, by the way. You may have noticed this little thing appearing in some of my videos. Yeah, it's a... Yeah, I don't think that's a bird. Kind of snuck that in there. So if we saw something like this in the wild and we know it's a toy pony, then we'd be like, oh, well, that's not a bird. That's not a creature. That's just someone's toy that they left behind. And then here's a lilac bush, and you can see the leaves are budding and it's starting to grow. And there might be some flowers starting to grow in this tree as well. So there's some leaves, but does anyone see any flowers starting to grow on this lilac bush? Yeah, lilacs, Dylan's right. Lilacs smell so great. One of my favorite smells, legitimately one of my favorite smells, lilacs. Yeah. Yeah, there's some buds, and there's some little baby tiny flowers starting to grow here. So we know this lilac bush can produce some flowers. We don't know how far it is, but it is making some flowers and it's made some leaves. And here's another picture of the lilac bush. It looks like it suffered a little bit of damage right here. There's a little bit of wood that you can see. So maybe there was a windstorm or something that damaged the lilac bush, and you can see some of the flowers in there as well. Here's another picture. And with this one, does anyone see anything interesting in this picture? So with this one, I'm not pulling a sneaky on you. There is something in this picture. It's not a toy unicorn or anything like that. There is actually... a squirrel might have jumped on the lilac bush, damaged it. That's definitely a possibility. Yeah, there's a red-winged blackbird. I'll zoom in on there. So you can see there's a sort of a black shape here, and there's a little red spot, and that's how we know it's a red-winged blackbird. If it was completely black, we might say it might be a crow. And over here, yeah, over here we can see that there looks like there might be a shed, that maybe some Maybe it's part of a farm. Yeah, it is really hard to see. And that's the tricky thing with citizen science. At first glance, it's like, oh, I don't really see anything, but you have to look really closely. And here's another picture of just an open field. And there's not much going on here. This is one of those pictures where there's not really a lot to report. There's some interesting plants over here. Whoa, zooming in a little too far. There's some interesting plants over here that we could tell the scientist, hey, that kind of looks interesting. It might be some special plant. And then there's this sort of bush over here that has leaves already. So that's something we could tell them. Oh, a vernal pool. Yeah, that could be, yeah. So this area could have, it's a lot of dead grass, but there's some vernal pool, which are pools that show up in the spring and then disappear. There's a, oh, and now we're back to the beginning. So that is my citizen science activity for you. I have one more picture that I want to show you. But first, okay, so I have one more picture that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you another really cool thing. Here we go. So let's, hello again. I'm going, oop, that's the wrong one. Technical difficulties. Let's try this. Application. There it is. That's the picture that I wanted to show you. So this is something that happened pretty recently, and it is really cool, both literally and figuratively. Oh, the pony returned safely home to your desk. The pony is with my girlfriend right now, so she being the pony is hanging out with my girlfriend. But yeah, there's white seeds. It looks like seeds, and I'll show you those. I still have them. Yeah, I'll show you what those are. So, oh, hang on. There I am. That is actually this. So this is Grauple. So it's ice, little chunks of ice. It's not hail. It looks like hail. It's a different kind of precipitation. Grauple is like really, really densely packed snow, just little chunks of ice. It sounds like hail when it's falling, and this is really big Grauple. You can tell the difference between hail and Grauple, because Grauple is kind of loose and rough like this is, but hail is really dense. And yeah, it does melt. I've been keeping this in my freezer for a while to make sure that it doesn't melt, because I wanted to show this to you. It happened in the middle of the night. Suddenly we hear all this ice falling on our roof, and we're like, what is that, hail? And we look out, and it's just calmly falling. Normally hail comes with extreme thunderstorms. This was just in the middle of the night, suddenly ice falling from the sky. So that's how we know it's Grauple. Grauple is just very calm about how it falls. Well, we have come to the end of my time. In fact, I may have gone over a little, but I hope you enjoyed our citizen science activity. there's one more thing. It's your challenge for today. So, sort of a two-part challenge. There's a lot of different websites out there for citizen science. For instance, there's citizenscience.gov. It's a huge resource for citizen science websites. There's also scistarter.org. That's another good website that gives you information about different citizen science projects that you can help with. There you go, scistarter.org, citizenscience.gov, and there's a few apps that you can find on your phone. For instance, there's a while back we mentioned the Globe Observer app, which works with NASA. And then there's also another one called LeafSnap. And those are some great citizen science resources if you want to help with citizen science. And if you don't have access to those websites or those apps, you can also start your own science journal. You can go outside and take note of what interesting things you see. So that's my challenge to you, is go outside and check out the world around you and see if there's anything interesting that people might not notice. And that's my citizen science challenge for you. So thank you very much for joining me. As always, my name is Andy, and bow ties are cool. Enjoy the rest of your day, and of course, stay safe and stay curious. Come back at 3 o'clock and we'll talk about what you found, and I'll have one more thing to talk to you about. So thanks, everybody, and see you next time.